The hour is late, and the call is clear. Chosen ones, something stirs not in the streets, not in the sky, but deep within the human spirit. Many look outward and see only storms, wars, or noise. Yet the greater storm is the silence within, the forgotten truth of who we are. This is the real emergency, and only those who awaken will stand unshaken. For centuries, the Shaolin monks carried secrets not of fists and weapons alone, but of inner mastery. Few know that before training the body, a disciple spends years training the breath, the mind, and the heart. To be chosen is not privilege, it is responsibility. The danger is not that the world falls apart, but that we fall asleep while holding the power to stand firm. In this message, I will reveal the principles that carried the Shaolin through times of fire and chaos. Stillness when the world demanded action, discipline when others surrendered to weakness, clarity when illusions clouded the path. These are not stories of the past alone, but living teachings meant for you now. Stay until the end, for each step builds upon the last. If you miss even one, the whole path becomes hidden. By the closing words, you will understand why this moment in your life is unlike any other. Why the chosen are called to rise not tomorrow, not someday, but now. I am Shi Heng Yi. You are walking into the temple of wisdom, carried across centuries, shaped in silence, tested in fire. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. If these words awaken something in you, let it not pass in vain. Subscribe, join our journey, and walk the path with us. The time has come to rise. The greatest battles are not fought on open fields, nor in the clash of swords, but in the silent chambers of the mind. Long before a Shaolin disciple is taught to strike, he is taught to look inward. Why? Because no strike against the outer world has meaning if the inner world remains in chaos. When I first entered the temple, I believed strength meant defeating others. Yet the masters showed me a truth far heavier than any stone we carried. The enemy lives within. It takes form as impatience when the heart cannot wait for the right moment. It whispers as distraction, pulling the mind in every direction but the present. It burns as desire, a hunger that grows even when it is fed. These are the demons no weapon can cut, no wall can keep out. One monk told me, if you cannot sit with yourself for 1 hour, how will you stand before the storm for a lifetime? I did not understand then, but over years of silence, of breath, of surrendering pride, the meaning became clear. Each time I lost to impatience, I gave away my strength. Each time I let distractions scatter me, I weakened my focus. Each time I clung to desire, I chained myself to suffering. The chosen ones are not those without demons, they are those who face them daily and refuse to bow. Victory over the self is not loud, it does not seek applause. It is quiet, steady, and unseen by the world, but it transforms everything outside. For when the mind is free, even fire cannot burn it. When the heart is still, even chaos bows before it. And when the self is mastered, no enemy remains. There is a strength that does not shout, a power that does not move, yet it protects more surely than steel. The Shaolin monks call it stillness. To many, stillness appears as weakness, as doing nothing while the world demands action. But in truth, stillness is the shield that guards the spirit when all else begins to shake. Consider the tree in a storm. The branches may whip and break, but the roots hold firm. It is not the noise above that grants survival, but the unseen depth below. In the same way, when the storms of life strike, it is not clever words or restless actions that save us. It is the depth of our stillness, our ability to remain unmoved in the heart. Shaolin masters trained their disciples first in silence before movement. Days spent in meditation were not delays but preparation. Without clarity, every strike is wasted. Without silence, every step is blind. To sit quietly each day, even for a short time, is not withdraw from life. It is returning to the source from which all action flows. Stillness sharpens clarity. In confusion, the mind races, creating illusions that scatter energy. But when silence settles, truth rises to the surface. A warrior who cannot still his breath cannot steady his hand. A chosen one who cannot calm the heart cannot carry the responsibility given to them. This is why stillness is not retreat. It is the deepest form of discipline. It demands patience to remain unmoved, strength to resist distraction, and courage to face the self without escape. In stillness, the chosen discover a shield no storm can break, and a strength that does not fade when the battle ends. The breath is the first teacher, though many overlook it. From the moment of birth until the final moment of life, breath never leaves us, yet most live as if unaware of its presence, allowing it to move shallow and broken, carrying a restless mind with it. The Shaolin understood that breath is not only air, it is the bridge between body, mind, and spirit. To master it is to master oneself. In the temple, disciples spent hours not striking, not sparring, but breathing, slow, steady, rooted like mountains. Why? Because when the breath is scattered, the mind is scattered. And when the mind is scattered, even the strongest body is weak. But when the breath is steady, chaos becomes clear, fear turns into focus, and weakness transforms into strength. A story tells of a monk once placed in a pit of darkness for 3 days, with no sound, no food, no light. His only companion was his breath. Many would break under such silence, but he emerged calm, his spirit unshaken. He explained later, "Each breath carried me. Each breath was the step out of fear." This is the discipline of the breath, not simply to inhale and exhale, but to breathe with awareness, to breathe deeply into the belly, filling the body with life, to let exhalation carry away tension, doubt, and fear. In this way, the chosen one learns that mastery does not begin with grand gestures but with a single breath. Every mindful breath is a reminder you are here, you are steady, you are free. With discipline, the breath becomes a weapon against fear, a medicine against weakness, and a key that unlocks the hidden strength of the soul. Discipline is the fire that shapes raw iron into a sharp blade. Without it, the chosen one is like smoke scattered, without form, without direction. Many speak of freedom as doing whatever they wish. Yet the Shaolin masters taught that true freedom is born from discipline, not from indulgence. In the temple, the day began before the sun. While the world still slept, the monks were already awake, their bodies moving, their minds steady. They swept the courtyards, carried water, sat in silence, and trained until sweat soaked their robes. These were not meaningless tasks. They were lessons hidden in plain sight. To master the smallest things, waking on time, bowing with sincerity, holding the body upright, was to prepare the mind for greater battles. One story tells of a novice who complained of the endless repetition, asking, "Why must we do the same forms every day?" The master replied, "Because the enemy you face every day is also the same: laziness, weakness, and doubt. They return again and again, and so must your discipline." This is why discipline is not a cage. It is a fire that burns away the excess, the hesitation, the excuses. It is not meant to chain you, but to release you from the weight of your own weakness. When discipline is strong, the chosen one does not depend on fleeting moods or shifting desires. They rise, they act, they endure. The fire of discipline teaches that mastery is not sudden. It is built in quiet hours, in repeated effort, in unseen struggles. And when the storm comes, the one who trained with discipline will not fall, for their foundation was forged in fire. In this way, discipline is not restriction. It is the purest form of strength. Every step is a message written into the earth. The Shaolin monks knew this well, for even their walking was a form of meditation. Feet touched the ground slowly, evenly in rhythm with the breath. Nothing hurried, nothing careless. Each step carried intention, as if the whole path depended upon that single moment of contact. To walk in such a way is to live awake. Most people move through life as though half asleep, their bodies rushing while their minds drift into yesterday or tomorrow. They walk without noticing the ground beneath them, they speak without hearing their own words, they choose without understanding the weight of their choices. In this way, they lose the present, and with it, they lose themselves. The practice of walking meditation was more than exercise. It was a lesson. Awareness must not vanish when training ends. A monk who is mindful only in the temple, but forgets mindfulness outside its walls has not yet understood. Awareness must follow into every act, into eating, into speaking, into stepping onto the path each morning. A story is told of a master who crossed a courtyard without a sound, each step placed with such presence that even the birds nearby did not stir. When asked how he walked so silently, he said, "I do not step on the earth, I step with it." His awareness turned walking into harmony, not disturbance. For the chosen ones, this is the way forward. Every step is a chance to affirm who you are. Every word is a chance to shape reality. Every choice is a declaration of your path. To live awake is to carry sacred weight in even the smallest moments until all of life becomes meditation. To grasp too tightly is to invite suffering. The Shaolin monks understood this long before the first blade was drawn. Attachment, they taught, is the root of fear. Fear of losing what we hold dear. Fear of change, fear of the passing of time. The heart that clings becomes a cage for the spirit, and the mind that clings becomes blind to truth. In the temple, disciples learn to hold the world lightly. A cup of tea, a moment of friendship, a sudden storm, each was received fully, yet without grasping. The masters called it the art of flowing with life. To move through the world without clinging is not to feel less, but to feel more deeply, freely, and without chains. One story tells of a young monk who could not let go of a broken toy he treasured as a child. Every day he carried it, fearing it would vanish if abandoned. The master asked him simply to place it on the ground, to watch it for 1 hour without touching it. The boy resisted at first, but slowly, as the minutes passed, he discovered that letting go did not destroy the toy. It freed him. His heart opened to the present moment, unshackled by fear. This is the teaching for the chosen ones. The world is always in motion, and nothing lasts forever. Clinging to trends, to noise, to fleeting emotions is to build walls around the spirit. To detach is not to withdraw, but to rise above fragility. It is to move like water, strong and flexible, never broken by the flow of life. Each day, practice releasing, not what is worthless, but what binds you, and discover the quiet strength that detachment alone can bring. The body is not the master, it is the instrument. In the quiet halls of the temple, the monks move with precision, not for show, but in service of the spirit within. Every muscle, every bone, every movement is trained to carry the soul, not the ego. Strength without purpose is hollow, and skill without harmony is empty. A novice once boasted of his power, showing speed and force greater than most. The master observed quietly, then asked him to lift a simple stone repeatedly, in silence, for hours. At first the young monk resisted, thinking it beneath him, but over time he felt a subtle shift. His movements became lighter, his breath steadier, his mind calmer. He realized that true strength is not domination, but alignment. The body must follow the spirit, not lead it blindly. In Shaolin philosophy, the body is a vessel of sacred work. It carries intention, focus, and purpose. To disrespect it is to weaken the spirit. To neglect it is to abandon the path. Every stretch, every stance, every strike is a dialogue between inner and outer, a conversation between what is and what could be. Harmony is not found in extremes, but in balance between effort and ease, action and stillness, discipline and surrender. For the chosen ones, this harmony is essential. The body is the foundation for the life they are called to live. It allows clarity when confusion surrounds, courage when fear rises, and endurance when trials press upon the spirit. Treat the body with reverence, not vanity. Train it, nourish it, and honor it as the sacred instrument it is. Only when body and spirit move together can the chosen rise fully into the purpose that awaits them. The sharpest sword is useless in the hands of a distracted mind. In Shaolin teachings, the blade is more than steel. It is a reflection of clarity, focus, and truth. Just as a sword must be honed, the mind must be refined. A dull mind, clouded by illusion and fear, cannot pierce the veils that hide reality. Meditation is the whetstone of this inner sword. In the quiet of the temple, disciples sit with eyes closed, watching thoughts rise and fall like waves. Each distraction is noted, each illusion observed, and slowly, layer by layer, the mind is freed from falsehood. One monk described it as cutting away the shadows that cling to the soul. At first, the process is subtle, almost invisible. Yet over time, the mind becomes like polished steel, clear, focused, and unyielding. There is a story of a student who believed he saw the world clearly, only to be repeatedly deceived by his own assumptions. The master took him to the edge of a cliff and asked him to describe what he saw. The student spoke of distant mountains, the wind, the trees. The master said, "You see only what your mind allows. Clarity begins when you stop clinging to what you think you know." Through meditation and reflection, the student learned to distinguish truth from illusion, perception from reality, and appearance from essence. For the chosen ones, the lesson is the same: deception begins within. Lies, distractions, and illusions are sharpened daily by the noise of life. Only those who cultivate inner clarity can navigate the world without being misled. Each moment of stillness, each act of reflection, each conscious choice is like a stroke against the blade, refining it further. In this way, the sword of the mind becomes not a weapon of destruction, but a tool to see clearly, act wisely, and walk the path without faltering. True mastery is measured not by power or skill, but by the heart that wields it. In Shaolin philosophy, training is never for the self alone. Each strike, each stance, each lesson carries a responsibility far greater than personal gain. The path of service begins when the disciple understands that his strength is a gift meant to benefit others, not a tool to elevate the ego. There is a story of a monk who had perfected every form, every movement, and yet remained restless. He sought approval, admiration, and recognition for his skill. One day, an elder asked him to carry water for the entire temple without complaint. At first, the monk felt this was beneath him, but as he labored in silence, he noticed the rhythm of his breath, the stillness of his mind, and the quiet satisfaction of being useful. In giving without expectation, he discovered a depth of strength and humility he had never known. Service, the masters teach, is the mirror that keeps pride in check. When actions ripple outward, they touch lives beyond our own awareness. A kind word, a steady hand, a patient ear, these are the forms of mastery that cannot be measured by technique alone. The chosen one who walks this path does not seek reward or recognition. The work itself becomes the teacher, and the spirit grows resilient, grounded, and compassionate. To serve is to remember that mastery is not isolation, but connection. Each day offers opportunities to uplift others through action, presence, and care. In doing so, the spirit remains humble, the heart open, and the power cultivated within is transformed into a force that strengthens not only oneself, but all who are touched. This is the true measure of the chosen ones, the ability to carry their strength outward, leaving ripples of wisdom and compassion in their wake. Time waits for no one. The world spins, moments pass, and yet most move through life as if sleepwalking. The true emergency is not found in distant disasters or fleeting headlines. It is the quiet surrender of the spirit, the unnoticed drifting away from purpose. Shaolin masters called this spiritual sleep, the slow fading of awareness that leaves the chosen ones powerless even when their bodies are strong. A story tells of a disciple who trained for years but delayed true reflection, believing mastery would come tomorrow or next season. One morning, the master handed him a lantern and asked him to light the temple path before sunrise. The disciple hesitated, distracted by minor tasks and small comforts. By the time he acted, the moment had passed, and the temple remained dark. The lesson was clear. Delay is a thief of awakening. Each moment wasted in excuses is a moment surrendered to shadows within. The present is the forge where mastery is built. Breath, stillness, discipline, clarity, and service all demand attention now, not later. The chosen ones cannot wait for external permission or perfect conditions. Life offers no guarantees, and every hesitation weakens the spirit. True awakening begins in this instant, with the courage to face oneself fully, to confront illusions, and to embrace the rigorous practice of inner mastery. To live awake is to recognize urgency without panic, to act with focus without haste. Each step, each breath, each choice matters more than most realize. The time for excuses, for postponement, for fear has ended. The moment to rise, to sharpen the mind, to strengthen the spirit, and to step fully into the calling is now. No waiting, no delay. The chosen are called to awaken while the path remains before them, illuminated by clarity and disciplined purpose. The path of the chosen is not easy, yet it is within reach. The true battle is always inward, where impatience, distraction, and desire wait to lead the spirit astray. By practicing stillness, mindful breath, unwavering discipline, conscious detachment, and selfless service, each step becomes a step toward clarity and strength. These are the tools that transform the inner world, and through mastery of the self, the outer world aligns with purpose. Take these lessons into your daily life. Begin with small moments of stillness. Observe your breath, let go of what binds you. Serve quietly without expectation. Each practice, repeated with intention, carries the power to awaken the spirit and sharpen the mind. The emergency is not the noise outside, but the forgetting within. When the mind is steady and the heart aligned, the chosen ones rise naturally, carrying wisdom, strength, and clarity into every moment. May you walk this path with patience, courage, and calm awareness, allowing your inner mastery to ripple outward into every part of your life. If these teachings resonate, join our journey and deepen your practice. Like this video, subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire, and continue walking the path of awakening with us, one mindful step at a time.